Yo, yo, my jiu-jitsu people, happy 2025. Here we go. I want to start doing a video each week where I just bring you the stuff that I'm working on and also like my mindset things and cool little tips and tricks. So if you have any questions or stuff that you'd like me to talk about, drop them in the comments below. Obviously, being the start of 2025, I think goals is right up there in importance of just importantness no, of what we should be working on and just keeps us on track for the year. A big one that if you've written down your goals, it's the second today, you probably have got a little bit of a plan on what you want to work on for the rest of the year. Let's check this mic. This damn mic, I did record this video a second ago and the mic stuffed up. The audio didn't go through, so we're trying again. When we write down our goals, a lot of the time we're like, get better at jiu-jitsu. So then probably the third, you go in to have a quick chat to your coach. Yeah, I just want to get better at jiu-jitsu. What would you say? And practically all of them, well, a lot of coaches and a lot of your friends will say to you, if you want to get better, just show up more. Oh, it just gripes me because you haven't really defined better and you haven't really defined on what showing up more is. What if you're already training 8 sessions a week plus 3 weight sessions and working? So rather than get all sort of in your head about, okay, I'm just trying to train 5 times a week or 6 or however many times a week, and then you like go and then 6 months in, you're like, did I get better? Like, how do I know? It's much better. So before I get to what I really want to talk about, let's just talk about how I actually find it's easiest to see progress in your jiu-jitsu is I do month at a time. So for instance, maybe I'm just starting and I want to my escapes. I keep on getting pinned on the bottom of side control and mount. So just okay, pin escapes. I need to get better at pin escapes. So maybe you're thinking about going down to a training session. I would just quickly look up a couple of pin escapes. Maybe you've got an instructional. Maybe you just want to flick through YouTube or Instagrams, watch a few pin escapes. Okay, cool. Then when you drive down there, maybe just think to yourself, that's right, it's January, I'm working on pin escapes. Get to the gym, go through the class. The coach is talking about whatever they're talking about, and that's fine, still listen. But you don't need to internalize it. Maybe if it's like, I don't know, some kind of leg entry and you've just started or whatever, it's probably a little bit of a waste of your time to be using a lot of brain power on that when getting stuck on the bottom of pin escapes is where you really need to be focused. So then when it comes to the rolls, okay, cool, I'm getting stuck, start working on them. Okay, if I put my hand here, if I put my hand here, if my hands are here, and then, okay, cool. And then just once you jump in the car on the way home, rather than just go and crank the music, oh, that was a terrible session, or that was a great session and driving home, just look at it objectively in the replay some of those things in your mind. Okay, which ones did I try? Who did I try it with? And just give yourself a little bit of feedback. As soon as you've done that, then you can actually go, okay, I feel like that worked. And then next time when you go in, you've already got that in your head. Maybe you can just repeat the process. If you do that over a month, even if you're only training, say, twice a week, you're going to see noticeable results over that month in relation to your pin escapes. And then maybe, February you can tie that on. Oh, okay. My half guard escape is coming into guard. So now we can maybe look at some guard retention or some sweeps or however it is. And if you just string your own training together in your mind, it's going to work much better for improving your jiu-jitsu. But it's not really what I wanted to talk about, because if you think back to when you first started jiu-jitsu, just rechecking there, you didn't actually start jiu-jitsu to get better at, I don't know, leg locks or pin escapes or anything like that. You had whatever reason you had. So for a lot of people, it's to be a better role model to their children or to gain confidence, like a teenager getting into that stage in school where bullying's a bit of a thing and that sort of thing. Just having that confidence means they can get better grades and have more fun on the playground. Or you get people that are just wanting to get a bit more fit and lose a little bit more weight. So what I'm wanting you to say is try to think about a goal that you've got outside of weight. Let's just use weight loss. Maybe you're 95 kilos and 90 kilos is your weight, is your goal. Okay, so like put that down and go, okay, at the moment I'm training 2 times a week And in those 2 times a week, I'm doing 2 rolls. So that's 4 rolls over a week. So go, okay, this year by July, I would like to lose 5 kilos and be down to my goal weight of 90 kilos. But for that, I don't have time to train a 3rd session, but I can stay back after class and do an extra roll or drill a little bit more of whatever technique that I'm working on. And then that's going to give me that extra cardio and that extra strength and fitness. And that way you can actually monitor it. And then you can check yourself in February and go, oh, well, I've gained a kilo, or maybe I've lost 3 kilos, where things are really working well objectively. So you can actually tie that into something that is outside of the gym. Because what I've found in jiu-jitsu is if it's just about technique and it's just about improving, there is plateaus. There's always plateaus in your improvement. There'll be big spikes where you improve your technique and it'll feel like you're invincible, and then there's just going to be plateaus, and sometimes it just feels like, I don't know, maybe you've got a lot going on and you can't really get your mind to work in the way that you normally do. It'll feel like you've actually gone backwards. So you need something external of the gym, some positive kind of reinforcement that will just keep you going. I'll just give you an example for myself, and something I'm actually quite proud of, is when I started, I had 2 things on the first class that I ever came into. I had done a little bit of Muay Thai, I'd done a bit of Krav Maga, and some other martial arts, but I'd heard jiu-jitsu is like a really hard sport. Hardly anybody does it. It takes 10, 15 years to get a black belt. So I was like, cool, I'm 21. I can get a black belt in 10 years. So I want to get a black belt and I'm going to train for 10 years because that's just going to solve all of the other problems. And the big problem at the time for me was my dad had just passed away and I was suffering like a bit of depression and that kind of thing. So I just thought, if I train for 10 years and I get a black belt, that'll solve it. And in the years coming up, it was fantastic that I actually did have a 10-year goal, a 10-year kind of plan of training, because I had injuries. My training back then was terrible. I didn't do anything safely. I just risked everything, hurt my shoulder, hurt my knee, my ribs, everything. That was a shocker. I'd obviously been 21, I got into partying, and then I'd be wrecked for a whole week and being a bricklayer and working in Brisbane. So I had big chunks of time off. I'd overtrained for a while, then I'd have time off, and then I worked away mining and that sort of thing. So it was a massively tumultuous time in my life. But in my head, it was a 10-year plan. So 10 years came about. I was a brown belt by that stage. But if you think about it over the 10-year period, it just kind of worked out to about 3.5 days a week of training over that 10 years. Kind of like got me to a good stage of my training, and it allowed me to pursue other goals within my jiu-jitsu at that time. But because I had that overarching goal, it just stabilized the whole process for me. So I just wanted to give you that as a little tip, and just say, when you're writing down your goals, don't be just like, well, I want to compete. I'm not saying take that out. Definitely do compete if that's one of your goals. And maybe you want to get better at crab ride, or maybe you want to get better rear naked chokes, or whatever it is. That's perfect. Definitely do have them. But also give yourself 1 or 2 external goals outside of jiu-jitsu that you can objectively measure it outside of the gym, like I just mentioned. And that will really give you that stabilization and that objectivity of what you're doing with your training. So I hope that helps, guys. And like I was saying at the start, I do plan on doing one of these each week. So yeah, I just want to keep myself on track a little bit, but I also want to help keep you guys on track. And yeah, if you have any can't even talk. If you have any questions or ideas or stuff that you'd like me to talk about, or you'd like to get my opinion on, just drop a comment below, or hit me up on Instagram on Shane Moore JJ. So Shane Moore Jiu Jitsu on Instagram, and I'll see you on the next one next week.